All right. Hello, everybody. Let's welcome to the live stream for the second part of the asset packager, where in the previous one we did an implement the rough implementation of the asset packager itself without any encryption and decryption. But yeah, let's just be clear. This is just way too easy that people can still grab your assets and grab everything, right? Well, this is something that I really like to resolve now by doing encryption and decryption. So, and the way that we are going to do that is I already was watching in some documents, because if I'm just looking for C# AES encrypt, which is also the way that we are doing encryption, by the way, there is here a small document about, no, not really small, but an article about integrating AES encryption in C# developer's guide. And then it has a large chunk of information about the background. By the way, I was really surprised at how old it already was, in 1997. And that has officially been implemented in 2001. By the way, for secure connections, funny enough, this is it's also using, I think, also using AES. But in my opinion, this is not really the most interesting topic in general for especially regarding game development. But that is sometimes you just need to do things that are really necessary. Otherwise, yeah, you are basically just naked, and then you will get sick. And I think that's the same case with this. Is that basically you are just, when you're not doing this correctly, and then you are deploying your game, and then people are able to just steal your stuff, which will be a horrible experience on your in the end for your stuff. But there is actually a small funny story. Is that in the I actually once way back I also made a game for a friend, and that game was just that he got his game keys for his birthday party. Well, normally I just gave him an A4 paper, and then he can just type it over, or I sent him to a messaging application. Doesn't really matter. But instead of doing that, I like I already said, I made an application, and then he need to gain experience points to get his game keys. And now you're probably asking, why are you saying this? Well, allow me to explain. Because it will be way too easy that he can just decrypt or just decompile the C# code, and then look up the keys, and so forth. So instead, I made sure that everything was written in a document, and also his progress was also written in that same config file. The storage file. And here comes the thing. I also added encryption in there to make sure that he was not able to. The only way that he was able to get his keys was by actually playing the game, which is just a small side story. So that was also a small, but it's the same point, because you are just trying to prevent to get something directly. Now I know that this friend of mine is not going to steal things from me, but yeah, and also probably he just was able to play the games. But I thought, just make it safer, just to be sure, right? But no further ado, We are going to implement this this small beast, and then hopefully we can just make a small utility around it that we never have to deal with this again, because this is like I said, this is not really my favorite topic. All right, let's get over with it. So, but now here comes the challenge, because I am reading into the whole AES encryption. And what here, for example, you have the public key, but the key is always with a fixed 32 characters. That's something that I really don't want. I just want to have like a number or just a normal key. So what we really want to do is mix two different types all together. And the way that you can do that is with a combination of how do you call it, RFC 2898 derived bytes for some reason. Then you are using a hashing algorithm with SA256, and then you get the bytes from there, and then that will be the official key. Yes. So it's going to be a really interesting beast to implement, but we will see how it goes, and let's just try to get it implemented, right? So let's start implementing. Remember that before I'm going to start, let's talk about my original structure. I have the let's start up the visualizer again. All right, and I'm going to load the package plan, and this is what we created in the previous stream. And we have the Encryption decrypt sync, and this is the one that we are currently paying attention to, which is basically just an interface with encrypt and decrypt. That's it. It's actually funny that we are not using encrypt. Why? I think that's wrong, because it's 3 usages, 1 plus 1 usages. Oh yeah, that's because we are using the direct sync directly. That's probably the case. But doesn't matter. I mean, this is the very simple one. So we are going to create a new sync, add class interface with the AAS resource sync. Yes, there you go. Then we're going to implement this interface with an encrypt sync. There you go. Pop. And then let's rider, let it generate. So now and the nice thing is that we just only have to focus inside here to have the proper implementation. So the first thing that we want to have is something like a password or something, right? So first we're going to create a place where we can specify the password. It's not public, by the way. Why we should? You don't want to have anything globally shared, right? That's not what you want. I'm also not showing my Wi-Fi password directly on the outside of my house. Some things you need to keep secret. It's way better. But the let's do the AS. This will be the password. All right, then we are calling the constructor with the string and password. There you go. Then we're going to introduce a field with this value. Then we have the password globally assigned, which is perfect. So, what are we going to do? first we need to have something like an salt, which is a random number generator from the system security cryptography. Cryptography? Yeah, cryptography. Get bytes. All right, let's do it like this. And then using, oh, by the way, I am, just to clarify, I am using an example. Because, yeah, this is something, if you think that I'm doing this out of my head, think again, I'm not doing this for my head. Because, like, this is not something that I am doing every day. I am not really an encryption specialist. Definitely not. And also, I really don't want to be an encryption specialist. Because otherwise, I will be bored really easy. I prefer just to make nice visual games and those kind of things. So I'm already a bit annoyed that this is need to be done, because it's, like I already said, this is not really my favorite topic. But at least when this is done, then we have something, right? But yeah. All right. Because funny enough, in a lot of private projects as well, then and also when I am just prototyping and such a thing, normally when you are making connections from one point to another point, you can, it's highly recommended to use also encryption. But most of the time I am just trying to bypass it and just use plain text. I know it's bad to do it like that, but especially on the start of the development, in my opinion, just start with your working out your prototype and work everything out and make sure that you have all the interfaces correctly implemented. And then when you are really at the point that everything is correctly working, then you can apply some kind of an encryption system or anything else. And the benefit also from this is that then you have already a working application where you can test it against. Otherwise, you need to do other implementations as well, which is, yeah, let me just say, not really fine. It's funny that it's already suggesting stuff, but are we really is this correct? No, it's not correct. All right, as.key. I am already bored. I just want to make games. I don't care about encryption, but it's important. Okay, the CBCB, which is fine. Then we also need to specify the padding, which is PKCS7. All right, but in my opinion, I am not going to look this up. Funny enough, I was back in the day, I was also really interested in doing well, trying to do with things related to hacking and such a thing. And that was also mostly because of I really like the show Mr. Robot, but and that's one of my problems is then when I'm watching something, then I get really, really interested in those kind of things. And then at the end, I was doing actual investigation, what you need to do and investigate. I mean, it's nice to do those kind of puzzles and try to break algorithms and such a thing, but eventually, then it's for me too much theory. I really like. I'm more like like I already mentioned in some of my previous video. I'm more like an hands-on guy. I like visuals. I like doing things. So I'm not really like just only working with text itself. I mean, it's nice, but there is a reason why I prefer things like right. Oh wait, that's the like I already said, this is something that I am just picking up from an example because the most recommended settings are things that are. If I really want to do a deep dive in this, I probably can understand this all, but then it will take months to investigate. And simply, I don't have the. I don't want to have the. I don't want to spend the time on it, and I also don't want to. Like I already said, I just want to deal with it, and I'm just done with it. Oh wait, it's transform final block. There you go. Now it's happy. Yes. So now we have the cipher, which is great, but still, it's very important that you are making sure that you have everything, that you largely understand what it's doing in a large way. So in a general way, because if shit hits the pan, like they like to say, then at least then you can troubleshoot it. But yeah, it's it's just iv.length, yes, and then the cipher.length. But then you're probably asking, why are you streaming this if you're not enjoying this? Well, I thought maybe it's interesting to see me suffer to do something that is not fun, right? If you are also if you think that this is fun, then sure, then shout out. Sure, you can say it, but this is just my personal opinion about it. Like I already mentioned, I'm more like an hands-on guy, and this is just a lot of theory. But I do see that we are now currently trying to copy all the information. Cipher, this is length, iv.length, cipher.length. Yes, this is correct. Return output. So now we have the encryptor. Yes, this is correct. And also make sure that we know what this is doing. Then we can say AES 256 plus PBKDF2 password to key. All right. Same story for this one, by the way. Yes. Okay. All right. Now comes the decryption block. So yet again, we're going to load in the salt, which is a byte, and we need the IV, which is also a new byte. Okay. Do I know what I'm doing? No. But I have the feeling that this is going to work. Maybe. Maybe. So we have data, then 0.salt dot comma. No, not dot, idiot. It's just salt dot length. And someone with I don't know if you can pick it up from the microphone, but someone was driving like a crazy here, and I can hear it through my headphones. Not that it's really interesting information, but at least you know. 0. All right. Let me just get this over with. then we can do, after this, we can do some fun stuff and see if it's going to work. And maybe we can just play some Pac-Man, maybe? Why not? It will be fun. Also, then actually one of the things that I really like when I'm doing, maybe I'm a strange guy, but the things that I really like to do in projects is when you are finally have something running, then just making sure that just refactor everything and clean up everything, because the nice thing about when you have something already running is then at least you have something to look at. And then at the same time, you can also test with that, right? Which is makes it more interesting. That's also the reason that a lot of time when I'm just starting a new project, and you still need to implement a lot of stuff in it, then it really depends on how much you still need to do. But if you still need to do a lot, then sometimes I even fall asleep behind my desk because I get it's just a lot of thinking, a lot of getting through, and there's no real something that is actually already running, which is basically just reading the summary of a movie, but not watching the actual movie itself, which is not nice, right? So, what is interesting? What's the point of that? For key declaration, then we are getting this one. Then it's using the password, the salt, and 100, and has algorithm is. That's nice. For once, writer is doing the correct suggestions for me, which save time in typing, which is nice. Like I already said, I do have the example next to me, but I prefer to type everything by hand, because then at least I know what it does. And one of the things that really helps with memorizing stuff is just by typing it over. Actually, when it's actually quite funny, because most of the time when I'm also following a course or something, then I'm also just mostly of the time just writing things over. That's also the reason why I personally don't really like when, for example, on those specific course sites, then they are just saying, "Oh, here's the Git repository. Just grab it, and then there you go." Yeah, that's fine, but then I'm not learning anything, right? But I also agree at the same time that it's most of the time it's also just that you have a small head start or the project setup, right? And now you can see that I am talking too much and not paying attention what I'm doing, because I was literally typing the same thing what I already had. It already has. So yeah, all right. But I'm just trying to fill the time so we at least have this part dealt with. But so far I can see the final block cipher 0, cipher.length. And this is now the decryptor, which is, typing in the, is there something wrong with how I'm typing this? Is it really important? I don't think so. Or it's just giving a nice suggestion, rename to, doesn't understand decryptor. Is decryptor a correct word? Is it? Wait, Let me Google it. Is it really a correct word? Decryptor. No, it's not the correct word. Okay, sure. Does it really matter? I don't think so. All right, let's test this one out. Let's make, because I have my asset packager here. And in here we are now using, oh, I have still some experimental stuff in here from the previous stream. All right, then instead of the direct resource sync, we are going to use the AA resource sync, which requires a password. Then I am just going to say, hello everybody. I cannot type everybody. There you go. Is this good? Yeah, uppercase, which is fine. There you go. Boom. Nobody cares, but hello everybody. Cool. So, first step. Can we encrypt it? I'm also a bit curious because it's going to encrypt this part with 16 bytes. But the problem is that, damn it. Encrypt, decrypt. Oh, no. No, is it actually fine? Because the problem is that if it's really starting to become longer than 16 characters, then we are in a big issue. What we want to do with this? Because this is, I think we want, I don't think that we can do it like this, because the problem is then we are just shooting in our own feet. Because I assume that when we are starting to encrypt it, then this will be longer. Because remember that what I am yapping about is that if I am starting the visualizer and I am going to load the how it works is basically in here in the package file. The first chunk needs to be exactly 16 bytes, which is really important because we really need to know how large the next chunk is, because this JSON map data is containing the next actual asset data. So that's the reason why the first one is really important, that we know how long it basically is. And it's also something that I really like to encrypt, right? So, small challenge. So I am probably just going to remove this. And then we just need to fill it out with, I think, just with spaces or something. Is that something that we can do? Yeah. Okay. This is the first thing that we want to do. We want to make sure that we are making it to, yeah. All right. Then we are converting this to list. Right. And then back to array. Yeah, I know it's a bit strange, but all right. Let's make sure that we have something that's called length string dot add insert. rel length string dot count. Okay, we're just going to say is not 16, or yeah, well, we want to have it if it's higher, is equals or higher than 16, because we cannot just simply say is negative. No, yeah, if it, yes. Otherwise, there's a chance that you end up in an internal loop, and that's something you don't want. Then the length string dot length string, which is lie because it's just a list with bytes, right? All right. Add which is the character for UTF-8 get bytes. Can we just add 0? I mean, 0 is not really something, right? And also we want to add it at the beginning. Insert at index 0. Then at least we're making sure that everything is added at the is being added at the start. And this way we are making sure that the data is always that prefix size, but it still has, and it can still dynamically grow, because I really don't know what the actual size of the encryption will be. All right. Let's see what this does. Let's run the asset packager. It's currently just in its own project. I really like to do this from the pipeline. Maybe I can do this in the stream when we are lucky and this is everything is just working out of the box. But we will see. Edit. It's a bit slower. It's really slow. Or is it just stuck? I think it's stuck. Because I don't think that there is an actual file. I think only the temp file is currently created. Let's see. Actually, I don't see anything. Oh, yeah, idiot. You are in the wrong project. Bin debug.net. Yes. Where is it stuck? Stop. Wait. Because it ended it with edit. Then we are going here and we just going to say asset data done. Let's encrypt. Oh, wait. And also maybe I was also already thinking about that, just to make sure that we have that we can see where in which file it currently is. In files.length. And let's add then for counter 0, because then at least we have an understanding where it's currently at. All right. Counter plus plus. Okay. All right. File created. Yes. Then it's done. Let's finalize it. Let's finalize it. What I'm currently doing is to when the whole file is done, then we can just go from each step, and then let's encrypt. Which is funny. That is also a very famous bot for creating HTTPS encryption certificates for your website. Let's encrypt. Let's encrypt get bytes yes to string to list. Let's encrypt the length. All right, then we are going in here, and we're going to write everything out. Let's write everything out. Let's write everything out. There you go. All right. This time I'm going to run it as with a debug. Then at least I can break it somewhere if it's not going to run. But let's encrypt the length. It's stuck on the length. Why? Is it too short? I think so. String, then let's just add. Maybe it really likes to have minimal length, like, because yeah, I can imagine that it's too short, but maybe with 8 characters it will be good enough. Get bytes to encrypt. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be an issue. Let's run it again. There's always somewhere a challenge. Nope, it's still not fine. All right, let's add even more. This is going to be an issue, I think. All right. Oh, starting the wrong application. All right. Asset packer. Run. Package. No. No way. It's going to work with it. Does it really require a minimal amount of data? Let's just add a crazy amount of data. Run. Yet again, I'm starting the wrong application. Jesus. Are we done? I'm just going to select the packager, otherwise I keep starting my visualizer. And I don't think people really want to see every time the diagram in a. They want to see results. Assets packager. All right. Then at least I can just press F5 to go with it. Where is it stuck? Ah. Oh. Then I'm just an idiot. Then it's in here. Wait. Are you saying that the length is already above 16 characters? No, right. How long is it? 48? Jesus. Then I probably need to rethink my solution, because then I probably... oh, wait. I'm also an idiot, because I think that 16 is way too less for my solution. I think I am going to add an additional 256 room for it. So there is more than enough room for the encryption. All right. This is yeah, well, that makes sense that it doesn't work. All right. Let's run it again, and now it's probably going to finish everything up. Yes, file created and done. Cool. So we have probably now an assets.bin, and if we look at the actual data, open with Notepad, sure. Yeah, it's not going to be happy. I don't think this is the best editor for it. Definitely not. I'm really surprised how Microsoft is really able to just destroy this first one, right? It's just... oh, yes. Before, in the previous stream, you really saw clearly the JSON data, but now it's just a random mess with characters. You cannot do anything with this. The only way that you need to know is if you... yeah, well, here comes a bit of a small issue. The part that I'm creating is just open source. So yeah, well, they can just grab. The only thing that you then need to know is the actual password, which is okay. But we have still a small challenge, because we really need to get the first... we need to make sure that we get the first 256 bytes of the file. And then we need to remove everything from the start, which is byte 0. Then at least we are making sure that it's going to decrypt correctly. Otherwise, it definitely is not going to decrypt. So in here, we are getting 256. And yes, this is hard-coded. 256, 256. Wait, it's better to make a constant of it. Private const. The first int first chunk size 256. Yes. 256, 256, 256. There you go. Now, then at least it knows where it goes. That's the easiest part. All right. So load text. No, we're not going to do load text, because we're going to load bytes first. And this is then the actual byte data, or byte the first the length byte data. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Then what we want to do is convert it to an array, because then we can mutate the actual data to array. No, to list. All right. Now I'm going to do something nasty in the memory, which is not well. Yeah, well. length data byte dot 0 is not 0. All right. And we also need to safeguard that the length base data is still length. What is all? What are you doing? Oh wait, they are combined together like a nice family. But we don't want nice families. They just need to work. All right. So what we really want is to get the counts and yes. So we are sure that it's still dropping out even when the list is empty. I really hope that this is not going to be the case, but is this going to be a pain in the ass? No, it's not going to be a pain in the ass. So we're going to have remove at 0. So it's going to keep removing. Then we want to have the, where is it? This snippet. Try parse. We first need to encode it to a string, and then we need to. Okay. So at least we have now more than enough room for the encrypted data, because for some reason 4 characters is starting to become at minimum for 48, which what I was also already expecting. But the question is, we do have now encrypted data, but can we nicely decrypt it back? That's the big question. So now this part is now changed. And should also still work with the direct sync, the direct resource sync, not sync from synchronization, but sync. All right. Edit, copy. Then we're going to copy this to my cybermaze. Now comes the question: are we able to paste this in? Yes. Open in. Paste. I don't think this is. I really always have fights with writer and copy files over for some reason. But at least we have still Explorer. Not that is the best current version. I must say that I really like that they have added tabs, but the Windows 10 version was performance-wise way better. Yes, replace. All right. So the data is now in there. Then what we want to do is go to cybermaze, and we want to make sure that we are loading in the new package resource loader. Yes. Oh yeah, that's just this. There you go. And then we're using the AAS resource sync with the password. Hello, everybody. Is that correct? Is that the correct password? Not that we're going to hard code it to this password, of course. That's not what we are going to do. No worries. It's going to be configurable. But at least we should be having a way to do this. see if we can now run it and decrypt it. With my luck, mostly of the time, it's not going to work at the first time. Especially not in live streams. Nope. It broke. Oh boy. The padding is invalid and cannot be removed. Get padding length. Hmm. Why? Okay, we really need to do this in a smaller testbed. Otherwise, it will be a bit of a pain to investigate what is actually going on. I do have the feeling that the trick that we did here with the at 000 or something, that one is currently giving some issues, which is a bit troublesome. Asset file insert 0000. Yes. Should be fine, but all right. Why don't you work? But we will handle this. All right. So we do have the AA resource layer, resource link, and we are going to decrypt the first 256 bytes, I think. Yes, we're going to do the first one. So return. Let's first do just a very simple one. Let's see if we can just encrypt something and then encrypt it direct from the data itself and see if there is an issue. So encrypt, decrypt. Let's encrypt this specific data, and well, we really want to have it like encoding. Yes. Just test. We want to encrypt this. Very secret stuff. I know. Very important as well. Then we're going to have the not test2 decrypt test, and then console dot write line with the encoding get bytes string encoding get string from bytes. Yes, that's the one that we want. Test 2. Is this going to work? That's the question. Asset packager. No. The padding is invalid and cannot be removed. Did I forget something? All right. This is also the reason why I prefer to do a small testbed, because otherwise it will be a problem. Did I forget something? Cipher.length, cipher, yes. Using decryptor, the AS create decryptor, which is fine. Padding PKS, CBC, IV key create. Using for AS, key duration is 232 with a key, with a salt and a password. Then we're doing a block copy with the actual data. And we have the sol.length.iv.length. And then we have the cipher with offset cipher.length. Yes. And then we have the data 0 sol.length. 0 iv sol.length and iv.length. Which is all looking fine. Let's try it again. Yeah, no, it's not going to work, but run. You see? Yes, with yes, AAS. Minimal self-checking version. All right, let's double check everything. Get bytes. Then it's going to create the key with. Did I made an oopsie in the? Yeah, I already see it. The key is of course 32, not 16. So there's the issue. And yes. Then in the decrypt, we have the key duration of 32. And I think now it's going to work. There you go. I'm just an idiot and just not using the same key length over here. So yeah, then of course it's not going to work, Dennis. Sometimes listening is sometimes important. Then that's just imagine that that someone is guiding you to a specific location and you're only listening for half of it, and then expect that you are at the correct destination. Guess what? You will not go to your destination. You will be stuck somewhere, and especially if you are in a very big city. So the moral of this story: always listen, or just read correctly, right? Damn. All right. But that means that we need to repackage everything because the encryption was wrong and not the decryption. So I have the feeling that if this is now doing its job, then we have a working encryption. That also means that we have finished the goal for this stream within an hour. But like I already said, I am dedicated to keep the stream on for 2 hours. So then we can do some other fun stuff in the meantime. Maybe some refactoring. But we will see. First, we just want to see, is this actually going to work? Because we now have just some temporary data over here. And let's run the packager. Because we need to generate a new bin file. Luckily, it's going quite fast. I must say that with this encryption system, it's going a bit slower, which is kind of expected. But in the end, it's still quite fast, but also the data is not that big, in my opinion. All right, let's copy it over, and then do I have still the other folder open somewhere? It's actually nice that everything is called .NET 8.0. I know you can change it, but all right. This is now the correct data. Now We have still everything correct. Does it work? Yeah, it's still the correct setup. Then we're going to start my game. And let's see if we can play the game. I'm really eager to just play Pac-Man. Why is it? The padding is invalid and it cannot be removed. Why? Why? I'm start crying now. All right. I was sure that this was working, but asset packager. It will actually, now I'm thinking of it. I think it will be better that also in the packager itself we are validating the package itself if it's able to decrypt it again, because then we can just run it without every time running the game, and also then we also know beforehand if it's been, if the world is really collapsing or something. Yeah, I'm oversaturating a bit, right? But let's add the asset package manager for asset package. Encrypt. Yes. And then load. Then we want to know asset packager. Exist. Yeah, well, we do have the all the files, so we can just validate all the files, right? Yes, we can. This will actually be a very nice addition to it, because then at least we can verify if everything is still correct. Exist file. We don't really have to do anything with the files, but we can at least check if it can decrypt it again. All right. Then we're going to say here, validate the file, verifying. And we're going to add here exists. With the file, yes, and we are checking if it really exists, because if it doesn't exist, then there's definitely something wrong. All right. Could be that I'm just copied on the wrong location. Could also be, but at least now we have it all bundled together. So now we are running let's run the packager again. It's going to create a new one, and it's going to validate it at the same time. There is still something wrong. But where is it going wrong? That's the question. So somewhere here it's going wrong. Let's add a breakpoint and let's validate if it's the reason that because I am here doing this creative thing. Length. But, huh? Why is it not touching my breakpoint? Load bytes. Yes. Oh, of course. Yeah. Idiot. I am already decrypting it, and yeah, I first need to remove it before it. So I'm going to add a middleware in here, like funk byte with an middleware, right? Is just data. Oh, not possible. Well, we can also just say, well, if it doesn't contain anything, then we are not doing anything with it. Identify expected. I'm just an idiot. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Middleware. Yeah. Sometimes I cannot type, but let's just call it middle stuff. Because I forgot to remember how you type middleware. All right. Is my tab not working? Oh, my tab. All right. Middle stuff is. Let's add here a question mark. And also we're going to specify null by default. If the middleware is not null, then we're going to able to hijack it before it's going to the decrypt. Because it's doing the decryption already beforehand. And yes, let me just say that's an issue. All right. Load bytes, and then we can going to say here add a middleware. Then the for length byte data wait, and also this is just going to be data. Then over here we're going to specify this variable, and we're just going to copy this part to here. But first we need to have the raw data, and then the raw data is to list because we need to manipulate it first. Then return the length by data dot array to array. Oh, all right. Then we can just pass in the actual data. Yeah, this is probably the reason why it didn't work, because it already was trying to decrypt it, but with a lot of garbage data before it. Yeah, well, then it's not really surprising that it doesn't work, right? But I have high hopes that it now is going to work. At least we have now added a nice validation. And it's still wrong. God damn it. Does it do anything in here? Debug. Lucky it's very quick with packaging the data. Yes. So the length data should be now exactly right. It didn't remove. Yeah, then it's not going to work. Why didn't it remove? It starts here. Clearly here. Is it maybe because I need to remove at 1? Zero based index of the to remove. Less than index is less than 0 or is greater than count. All right. Debug. I don't know if there can be any actual data in between. I still think that it didn't remove. Why is this not working? Why is it not removing? Is it returning? Yeah, well, it's the actual instance, so it should remove the actual data, right? But oh, of course, it's we need to check if it not. Sometimes I am rotating things the wrong way. It's yes. Link base data is, and now it's removing everything. If I'm just doing this, I know it's not safe, but also, mm, boy, linked base data is still one. Great. Now we need to remove at 0 because we want to check the first one. Yes. Yes. Now it works. All right. That's cool. But I also really like to have it safeguarded. That still higher than 0. But if we're now going to run, does it do its job or is it going to ignore everything? No, this is completely safe. And also making sure that this is going first. There you go. Now at least it should all be fine and it should able to decrypt everything. All right. Let's see. Exists. True, 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 true. Looking good. It's going to look good. Which will be interesting. I hope. At least. All right. Let's see if this is going to work or not. I'm really curious. Oh. Do I need to copy over the new version? No, I don't have to copy the new version. Should be fine now. Let's just YOLO! It does work. And I also see that I really need to have an loader, an asset loader in my application. That is actually an interesting one because now it takes quite a while to get everything loaded. Oh boy. Yeah. That is probably requires some restructuring because it's now taking quite a while to get all the assets loaded in. Then I probably need to make a separate thread where I'm going to let the application run, and then at the same time it will show a progress bar how far it is, because it's taking quite a while to get everything loaded in. Because let me just get the task manager, and that's actually, now I'm thinking of it, because I'm running it in Rider, but I also know that Rider is not making always everything faster. So let's just run it directly from my Cybermaze, and then let's directly run it from here. Does it take really a while to get it loaded now? Yes. Yes. It takes a while. But the question is, do I really want to get everything preloaded into memory? That will eat a lot of time. That's a really interesting situation. So, but the question also is it also now taking a while to load the level, because the levels are loaded in from the also from there? No, that's actually still quite fast. Okay. So that's all fine. But, I am actually going to add a small utility in there. The assets manager, asset packet manager. Because I am just simply curious how long it takes to load something. Data. Here, there you go. So what we can do is we can, in here we get the for stopwatch is new stopwatch. Luckily in C# you have a built-in utilities for this. Then you can just, it's basically like in a racing game. Then you have a stopwatch, and then you can just say start, stop, and then you get exact time in between. So control right loader pad in stop epilepsy time milliseconds in total milliseconds. So now we can at least see in the console how long it takes to start up. Because it was taking quite a while in my surprise. And also it's saying that, oh, it's loading quite in a lot of memory. But yeah, that's something I cannot really prevent. Maybe that's in the future if it's really becoming an issue. Maybe I can also just try to get a large assets package or something in there. But for now, I think it's just important to get everything correctly loaded in. But let's run and see if it's. Let's benchmark it. Yeah, you can see. Oh, that's right. All the waveforms are getting loaded in multiple times. So that means that every wave sample, and in Pac-Man I do have a lot of them. Yeah, well then it's going to load them in multiple times. Is this really necessary in that we really need to load it every time, every time, every time, every time, every time? Because now it's taking quite forever to get everything loaded in, because it doesn't really matter how big the file is. So far I can see, because if I am now loading in the, let's check an larger file, you see that it's not adding a lot of time. But yeah, if it takes in average around 20 milliseconds to get the resource loaded in. Also, it's lucky it's loading everything beforehand. What I see. I am actually curious. Are we able to start this to load this in a separate thread and then let the game run as well, and then just let it wait on that part? But that means that I need to go to the game hosts itself, because in here, because everything get loaded in the. I never thought that I needed to do this a loader system, because now, but now, yeah, you can see it takes a while. But also, I really need to look at this, because I don't see a reason why we should load everything, or maybe we should just cache it in memory or something. But let me check, because now we are trying to do the before update, and somewhere we are running the task for, because the way that the game loop works is that we have different tasks. The background services task, I think it's the load after Raylib. That one is now taking quite a while. The post Raylib init, which is get called in the post Raylib init. And here we are actually already. Yes. So this one is currently taking quite a while. Yeah, you can also see it already from the memory that it's going that it's trying to use. Init window, yes. So that basically means that we really need to have something that will basically just open up in a separate thread, and then we can just load everything and show basically a progress bar, which is actually I think a nice one for the next stream as a nice challenge to implement. Because yeah, in my opinion, if I am starting to play a game, if I bought a game, and then I am going to see, let me fire up Cybermaze again, and I see this. Is this something that we want? Just a white page, and then people are thinking, oh, the game is just crashed, but the game is not crashed. It just takes a while to get the resources loaded in, because the encryption is for each file. It's just it takes a while. But there you really need to have like a progress bar, because I also see that it's just nicely loaded everything in. The only problem is that I don't really know how many files are really loaded in. The only way that we can solve this is by loading the assets in the actual memory. And I think that's the only way to solve this. I think, yeah, that's definitely the only way to solve this. We just need to make to put it into memory. Then at least we have something like a progress bar, that we can first load everything into memory. We can show how far the game is with loading the game, and then we can continue. Yes, because this is just horrible slow. But also I am a bit curious. Why is it necessary to get so many different instances of the... Can we not just clone the same one from Raylib for the sound effect manager we have here? Because the thing is that we have here a pool size, and the pool size is basically load sound key, and then it's just going to loop 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 loop. Yeah, and then you basically hang. But doesn't have Raylib a way that you can just make a new instance based on that one? Because we also have a special get one sound manager. Yeah, no, it's also loading the sound again. Does it really have Raylib something for this? Raylib loads sound alias. Creates a new sound that shares the same sample data and source sound. Does not own the sound. Does not own the sound data. I think that's the solution. Load sound alias. Because this one creates a new sound that shares the same sample data and the source sound, but does not own the sound data itself. Because we really just want to have a separate instance of it, which is the way that but we can just try. Let's just try it. If this is the way to go, we can then just put load sound alias in here. No. Sound location dot key. No. Get sound key. Out sound. Yeah. So what we really want to do is, instead of this, then we just getting a sound. Get sound from the key. Out sound original. Yes. Also Don't forget to speak into the microphone, Dennis. You idiot. All right. Then we have we are making sure that we're going to call Raylib sound alias. Sound alias. Really? Load sound alias. There you go. So it should be fine like this. Because now we are not loading the sound multiple times. We just copy it over from the same resources. And then it should be... then that way we can prevent it to load it so many times. Cool, loud sound, yes. And then here we're going to do a small trick. So the pool is already okay. Yeah. So in here we have if E is null, then we know that it's the first one, right? Then we are going to use it like this. And we are making sure that in the second one, we are going to do sound locations. No. Load sound from alias. And then we're going to load the one from the first in the pool. Pool 0. This way, we making sure that the first one is actually get loaded in, and the other ones are just created as an alias. And yeah, maybe you are asking, why are you doing it like this? Well, this is just a trick to play multiple sounds at the same time of the sound effects. But now because of the slow loading, it's really biting my ass. It's the first time that I really need to take a look at this. Because before, yeah, all the games were just running and starting on SSD, and yeah, then you don't really see it happening because it was just like, and it started. It was just crazy fast. But I am curious if I'm now did break anything. Let's see. No. It still sounds correct. Interesting enough. But the positive thing now is that at least the sounds are now only getting loaded in once. Which is already the half. And also, I do see that my memory usage went down. The LOG and yeah, this is going to be a thing. What we're going to do now is let's run just a quick, because we have a little bit time left. Let's just do a memory profile and see if we have actual issues with memory. Luckily, I do have the JetBrains license, and one of the nice things with, I know that Visual Studio also has it, but JetBrains also made a very nice solution for analyzing memory. It is running a bit slower, but still, my PC can handle the game just fine. But you can see that it's now also, I am curious if I'm now forcing the garbage collection. No, this one is completely stuck. Then we are getting another snapshot. Yes. So, all right, so let's stop. Okay, let's open this snapshot. Let's see where it's going wrong. This is probably a bit small for the to see on the stream, but bear with me. Sparse energy, partially filled arrays that are inefficient for memory usage. This is kinda expected. Frozen heap map, large heap map. Okay. Yeah, well, it's not a surprise that it's the byte one. Yes. And the instances. Then we have the byte with 35 retained bytes. Doing something. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think the biggest issue is that it's trying to load in a byte array with the maximum size, which is not doing anything. Merge short paths. There is the key issue. So there is a small challenge to prevent the actual memory usage. Oh boy. Call tree doing awesome things. Yeah, I can agree that it's doing awesome things. Program.main, yes. Rated module.run, gamehost.run, which is expected. Game task. Yep. 105 max is going for is by the load after Raylib init task. And it's mostly coming from the sound FX resource manager. And the one in here we have the package resource loader, load sounds. Then it's going to load bytes, bytes.string, load bytes. Oh, yeah, with the func. Yes. Decrypt. Transform final block. Then in here, but here it's using, so that should be fine, I think. Well, this is actually something that is easy to test because we can also just run it directly. Let me just check where we can maybe optimize this a small bit because it's not really nice that it's now eating so much memory. Well, open, yes. Read the buffer.length. Well, it's making a buffer that's making sure that it's to fill in the actual bytes. So that should not be really an issue. But which one does it support? Does it only support the buffer as bytes, or does it also support a span with bytes? Because we can also use a span. New span dot bytes. Span. Yes. does it expect? Span.byte. With, oh wait, yeah, of course. Over an entirety of a specified array. And we really like to have it just memory. What are the options? Byte, reference, pointer, dot length. No parameters. What's the point if you are just new? Byte array with the actual length. Okay. Yeah, this is something that I need to dive deep in, because this is an. I really need to read into this part to get the memory correctly allocated, because the current issue is that we are reading into the memory, but we are close. But do we also... We don't dispose it. Wait. Yeah, but that's also a thing. Using. There you go. Now it should load into the buffer. And the buffer... Yeah, let's not go into there now. I'm a bit scared. Yes. In LOC. Okay. Run. But I don't think it's going to do a lot. No. It's not freeing up from the actual memory. Because it's it ends up in the LRC and the POE part, which is not being handled by the garbage collector. But now I am also really curious, because then we need to encrypt it again. If it's really going to... Sorry, I'm just thinking, and talking sometimes is a bit tough. But my point is that we are now using the encryption version, but it's now I know it's not really a crazy amount of value, but yeah, if for example, if we are going to have just a crazy amount, like a 1 gig of data, yeah, well then it's also going to use 2 or 3 gigs of memory probably, because it's simply just multiplying it. So this is really something that needs to be addressed. But it's going to be a challenge. That is something that I can definitely agree on. Because, yeah, well, this one is now currently cipher.length, which is a byte, and the transform block, which is can only be done by an input.byte. But yeah, that is something for the next one. So for the next challenge, we probably going to finalize the asset packager, making everything lean and making sure that when we actually are running in debug mode, then we are loading it into that we are not using any asset packaging utilities. But if we are running in release mode, then it's going to create automatically the asset package for you. And we are going to, then it's going to just use the assets bin file. But that's for next time. All right. Thank you for watching, and I will see you the next time. Bye.